Well, you can add Burger King to the list of large, highly profitable United States companies that are considering moving overseas. The fast food giant is in talks with the Canadian donut chain Tim Hortons. And this merger would create a new company worth over $18 billion and operating over 18,000 restaurants in more than 100 countries. But it would also change the company's headquarters to Canada. And that maneuver is called tax inversion. And it's one that's expected to save the company some major cash on its U.S. tax bill. Joining us now to discuss this is Independent Senator from Vermont, Bernie Sanders. Senator, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Now, certainly a move like this would be nothing new. Many companies have done it, but Burger King would be a very visible one if they did go ahead and make this move and do this merger. Now, both Burger King and Tim Hortons say that this is really about growth, but do you buy it? Do you think it's more about taxes?
Well, I think it is about growth, but I think it is also about taxes. And I think you're right, because Burger King is so visible. It puts a focus on the general behavior of corporate America, and in a sense, the contempt that they feel for the average American, in fact, of the United States of America. If there's anything that we have seen in the last couple of decades, is the knowledge that corporate America would shut down in this country, move to China, and throw Americans out of work if they can make 5 cents more. And now the push is to avoid paying their fair share of taxes. So clearly this is a huge issue, because if we lose significant amounts of tax revenue, it means we're not going to have the funding we need for education, for infrastructure, for healthcare, and other needs, or else the deficit is going to get higher and higher. So this is an issue that we have got to address.
Now, Burger King is kind of your quintessential American success story, too, right? They started with just one restaurant in Florida. Now the company is worth over $9 billion. Is this an issue of loyalty here? Do American corporations that start here, that make it here, owe something to the country?
They sure do. I mean, they became wealthy, they became profitable, their CEOs make all kinds of money because of the work done by American employees, and in the case of Burger King, employees who are paid far too low wages, and because of the consumption of their products by primarily Americans. And I think we have to deal with it. These companies can't claim to be American when it benefits them, but when it comes to hiring people or when paying their fair share of taxes, they're going to run abroad. That is not acceptable. We have introduced legislation which would essentially deny these large corporations, whether it's AbbVie, the pharmaceutical giant, Walgreens that was giving some thought to doing it, Burger King or other companies, the ability to move abroad, take advantage of tax havens and all other types of loopholes, and then claim to be an American company. So this is an issue that we do have to address. Now, the one point that I would like to make is that when you talk about corporate taxation, it is important for everybody to understand that back in the early 1950s, corporations paid about 1/3 of the revenue coming in to the federal government, about 32%. Today, despite all of their yelling and screaming and moaning and groaning, corporations pay less than 10% of the overall tax revenue of the government. We have, among large corporations, 1 out of 4 large profitable corporations pays 0 in federal taxes, and some of them get substantial tax rebates. So I think we need to look at real tax reform, which says to corporate America, which is making record-breaking profits, which in too many cases is paying their workers very low wages, we have got to say to them, sorry, if you want to be an American institution, you're going to have to start paying your fair share of taxes.